Welcome guys, this is Math and we are back with another video for you guys. But before we move on, I want you guys to know to take a moment and hit that subscribe button and that bell. That way you can always be alert when I post a new video. Without further ado, let's get active. Today we are doing what we call factoring polynomials. So we're going to be doing factoring. So we're going to factor polynomials. So I don't want to give you guys too much theory, but I'm going to just do the examples so you know what it means to factor polynomials. Or I should say first, you're basically finding out what they have in common and you remove it out of the polynomials and then rewrite it in a different way. Kind of like when we're doing the multiplication of polynomials, it is something like basically doing the reverse of that multiplication of polynomials. So let's do a quick example. Let's say we have 16x squared minus 12x plus 24. What it basically means is you're going to find what that polynomial has in common. So in 16, 12, and 24, what do they have in common? Well, we know they're all even numbers, so that means they all have 2 in common. But what else do they have in common? Do they have 4, 6, 8 in common? Well, only 2 of them have 8 in common. Only 2 of them also have 12 in common. Only 2 of them have 6 in common. But actually, they all have 4 in common. So that means the common denominator, or I should say, the GCD, greatest common denominator between all of those numbers is actually 4. So it would be like 4, and when you say factor, it's like a parenthesis. So for the x, there's an x squared here and an x, but there's nothing here. So in that case, we don't have x in all places. So we can't put x as a factor. So therefore, that's going to be only 4. Factor 16 over 4 is 4. And you have the x squared minus 12 over 4 is 3. And we have the x plus 24 over 4 is 6. And that's it. For this one, that's all we can do. We can only do that kind of factorization. Let's do a second example. Let's say we have y 2n plus 2 plus y n plus 2 minus y squared. Well, here's the question though. What do they all have in common? Well, it's very simple. They all have y in common, right? So we already know that y is going to be one of the factors. What else do they have in common? Well, let me tell you guys, I think I made a video before where I actually broke it down. I'm going to look for it again, and I'm going to add a card for this one so you guys can remember about that part. But I'm going to do it here too. Here, you need to learn how to break down when you have a variable that have exponent. You need to know how to break it down. So let's actually skip this part right here. And I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to say, let's work out this one. Let's work out this part. So what is y 2n plus 2? Remember the distributive formula or the product formula when it comes to exponent. You have to know how to break it down. Basically, y to the power of 2n plus 2 is y to the power of n times y to the power of n times y squared. Why? Because since we have y in all of them as the base, then you can just add the exponent. So that means we would have y n plus 2. Well, n plus n is basically 2n, right? So that's how you get the y 2n plus 2. That means in this case, we can, instead of writing this like that, we can just say yn times yn times y squared plus, now we're going to look at this part. So in this part, what we're going to do is, I'm going to rewrite this one over here. So yn plus 2, so yn plus 2 basically is yn times y squared, right? Because that will be y, and you add the n plus the 2, right? That's what it is. So here I'm going to just write yn times y squared. And then we're going to work on this guy right here, which is y squared, which is very simple, y squared. Now, here's the thing again now. Here's the thing. What do they all have now in common? Well, we can see they already have, like we see right here, they got y already. But now we can see that they have what in common? They have y squared in all of them. So that means we can factor out y squared, which is going to leave us with what? It's going to leave us with yn times yn plus yn plus, that's going to be 1. Oh, not plus, my bad. It's not a plus, it's actually minus 1. Minus 1. So therefore, what is the answer for this one? It's going to be, oh, no, I shouldn't have done that. So the answer is going to be what? Oh, no, don't do that. Yes. This is going to be y squared factor y 2n, right? y 2n plus yn minus 1. And this is your answer. Do you see how easy it is? So guys, remember, when you are unable to actually figure it out, try to break it down. That will make it much easier for you to understand. I'm gonna stop it right here. You know what? Again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And of course, you can share it to your friends if they also need help. This is Math Stats. Hope to see you guys again. Until then, Math Stats out.